Welcome to this week's Art Wisdom with Chris and Kat. And this week we're talking about the 5 things that kill your art sales. So we'll get straight into it, hey? Number 1 is unclear with your store and how to buy.
Oh my gosh, not having a storefront or a method for someone to buy is like, honestly, the worst. Most people that come to me saying, why I'm not making any art sales. And I'm like, no one knows how to buy art from you. It's a secret, is it?
Yeah, I wonder if it's the thing that they've just like unconsciously are doing it. They sort of think that they're putting themselves out there, but then actually, that tab button to say buy now, they're just fearful of maybe putting that on or something. But
yeah,
no problem.
Even if it's like a process in which someone can purchase art, even if it's like, in your bio it says, if you would like any piece, just DM me, or like, here's my email, contact me, or actually even saying in posts where you're posting pictures of your art, by the way, this is for sale. You don't have to do it on every post, but if it's on none of them and people don't know that your artwork's for sale, you're not going to ever get anyone asking to purchase something because they don't know. Like sometimes people are a bit embarrassed to ask unless it's like made clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've had that as well. I mean, I think we talked to somebody and they said that they never put anything on it. They had somebody ask, is your artwork for sale? If you ever get anybody messaging you saying, is your artwork for sale? Then you're obviously not being clear enough to let people know. Because you might be just the brave ones as well who will ask.
Oh, you know what? That's true. Like, I honestly feel like for every one person that has to physically message you about something, there's at least 10 more, if not more, that probably would love that piece. But like some people are just too introverted to actually be, going out and ask for something. And it's a bit embarrassing to know if it's not available for a lot of people. So I think literally having a store or having a really clear method on this is what's available, or this is when the store is open, or this is when the store's closed, or this is specific dates when I'm taking commissions, or like if you want this piece is available. All of those things, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I use a Shopify, I do like auctions through Google Forms, but it doesn't have to be complicated. It could just be a process through the DMs. Even Facebook and Instagram have like built-in stores.
Yeah. There's plenty of opportunities. It's just you're actually telling people that it's available. I'm Instagramming that. You can put your tags on, so your tag will take you to a website if you have a website, so people actually can go and have a look through to see what the products are, how much they cost, if it's, just get more information on it.
Oh yeah. And the crazy thing is like, I had a couple posts go viral over the weekend. Yeah. And I wasn't like running, I was like, just had my store available, and everywhere it said, if you want something, here's the link, and it was $3,000 in a couple of days.
Oh, nice.
Just from having a link available and it just being easy to click and easy to actually order something. If I didn't have that there, I would have had zero sales. So
I suppose we've got to think of ourselves, isn't it? If it's too much of an effort to go, well, I've seen this nice picture, I don't know what, I don't know anything, there's nothing here, you just move on. You just don't have the patience, do we? Like, it's called resistance points or friction points. Friction.
Wow, that's so true. Because at the end of the day, people are coming, especially when they're on social media, they are exhausted. Most people have got busy lives, they've got families, they've got work, they've got all of this stuff going on. You've got health concerns for a lot of people, trying to keep up to date with friends. I mean, just life is busy. And like to add extra like stress of like having to like personally message you just to check on something, and then remember to come back to check the responses, and wow, it's just a lot of steps when it could just be like 3 button clicks. Click in the store, click add to cart, click checkout. You
don't have to talk to anybody. I like that. It's just like done. I'm a bit of a fan of Amazon at the moment. Just click. Oh, it's lethal. It's lethal.
It-
So maybe we need to think more along the lines of Amazon, of making it really, really easy for people to get our things.
Any tiny little bit of resistance. And I mean, it's funny that website designers do this all the time, but I think artists probably would, because they're not in that kind of industry, don't think about it. But they are focused on even removing one single click. Just if you can make it that one click more efficient, they're fine. Like the completion rate becomes so much higher. It's potential that the reason why people's art isn't selling as much as they expected to, just because they've either the process is a bit too elongated, or there isn't one that's clear. That's it. You could literally triple your sales overnight just by changing a few things, make it streamlined and make it obvious.
Yeah, clunky is a good one, isn't it? Because if you get there and they want to know all of your life's information, you're just out of there. So many times.
Right.
Think of yourself, how you would do it.
Yeah.
I think as well, people find it intimidating to ring an artist or even to DM an artist, a bit intimidated. So let's just not put them through that as well. Give them the suggestions. We're doing them a favor, actually, by just putting that button there to say, I know.
And I mean, the interesting thing is, like, there are, like, obviously galleries that don't show prices because you have to contact the gallery. But we have to be clear, the reason why they do that is because a lot of those artists, they're only trying to place the artworks with specific people. So it's not because they don't want you to know the price. They don't want you to have the artwork in many cases. It's meant to go to someone specific, like a certain echelon of society, because they're trying to build up provenance for the artist, and that's how they gatekeep certain art pieces. We're not about that. We're not really right. So when people tell me, I wouldn't put prices on that, I was like, why not? Absolutely would do that. And if you feel embarrassed because the price is too low, put your prices up.
So we've slipped into number 2 here. So should we talk about pricing then?
100%. No transparency on your prices. Again, it's almost as bad as not having a storefront or any way for them to buy artwork, because again, people feel so embarrassed to ask. If people don't know how much the items. Also, there's a good point to be that you don't want to be wasting other people's time, and you don't want them to waste your time. With due respect, there are some people that will be able to afford your artwork and some people that won't. And that's A-okay, but you don't want to have to put people through the rigmarole of having to say, how much is this? Sorry, I can't afford it. It's very embarrassing for clients. It's much easier for them to be able to look and say, okay, I can't manage this original artwork, but okay, I can see the prices of the prints. Maybe the prints are more right for me. And they don't have to have like a big conversation that might be very embarrassing for them. They can just do that within a few clicks. They can place themselves as to what kind of product they want to get from you.
Yeah, I suppose there's Afterpay and things like that as well, but that's not sort of your concern. It's like, if you put your prices on and you've priced what you want, as you say, people can just peruse themselves and actually, not be embarrassed. There's a big piece and they think, I can't afford that. Oh, I can afford this little piece. They can start off the little piece, but they don't have to have that maybe awkward conversation for them where they have to admit that, I just can get this little one at the moment. It's just all transparent. It's easy.
Yeah. And like, I liken this to, like, if you go shopping in a normal high street and you went into a store and every single item you picked up off the shelf, you have to go and take to the front desk to say, how much is this?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because you want it all over.
Would you?
Oh God, you just walk out. You just be like, this is too much. Too.
Yeah.
Again, you just don't want to have to force people to. You don't want the buying experience to be icky like that. The people know where they stand. And I put it this way, even SpaceX, where you can buy like $100,000 payload up into space, you can spec out your own rocket on their website. It shows you the price.
Does it really?
Yes.
Wow.
So,
Wow. God, if it's
yeah,
good
so
for SpaceX.
it is. It's good for us, and I think it really transparency. You know, those transparencies, and also like I have a transparency process on like how I do commissions. So for me, it's a a price per square inch. We don't have to talk about design. The price is high enough to accommodate as crazy a design as you could ever imagine, and that's one of the benefits of obviously valuing your artwork,
Yeah.
but that way when people come to it, they know, okay, I can order an artwork of said dimensions,
Yeah.
and that will work with you, and
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And again, people don't have to feel embarrassed that they can't afford something.
Yeah. And if you're not putting the prices or not sharing the prices because it's something that you're embarrassed about, or it's something that's you're affecting you, it's, that's
Right.
you have to look at, because a lot of people wouldn't even be bothered with it. It is what it is. You go into a shop and you see things for a price. It is what it is. So,
Right.
have a look. Is it your hang up that you not sharing your prices?
Oh,
You're not, you don't want to tell people, or you're keeping it all hidden away.
that is actually amazing, Chris. Is it because if you're scared of sharing prices because you're worried either about judgment, that is definitely a you think. Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, it's a you thing, and it doesn't need to be, because we have to pay for things that we want. It's an exchange.
That's right. It's so fun. I think actually a lot of artists struggle to share prices because it's like valuing what they do,
Yeah.
and seeking value in what they do, and asking for fair exchange for what they do is very hard for a lot of artists.
Yeah, I think we spoke on pricing on another podcast, and that's a whole other ball game, isn't it? Of getting your pricing right, and what you feel comfortable with. So that's definitely worth a watch. If you feel a bit like, oh, I'm gonna put prices, I've got to tell people, well then check out our pricing podcast.
Yeah.
Number 3 is we have as not sharing your artwork.
Right.
You're not going to get anywhere, are you?
No, right. So, the truth is that if that artwork hasn't been posted, is on your shelf collecting dust, do not expect someone to just burst through your door and say, hey, that artwork that you've never shared, I would like to buy it from you, because people don't know about it. And you have to post at length. Like sometimes not even 10% of your own following will see your posts.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of social media today, right? So you still, even when you've posted about it, you have to post about it a lot, not because you want to bore people, but because you want everyone to know about it. And it's just the way that social media sites work, and it's not a guarantee that everyone's going to see every single post.
No, and I think that's what sometimes stops us when we're posting, because you think, oh God, I posted this 10 times already or something. But we can change certain little things of it, and as you say, nobody sees it. I suppose if we look at it like nobody's watching us, nobody's, you're just doing it for your own entertainment. Maybe we'll do more. But it's okay to post things like multiple times.
Right. And again, like there is so much that you can talk about your art piece. And I think we spoke about this in the last podcast, right? Which was the execution. But ultimately, you don't just hold up a painting and be like, it's a picture of a waterfall. Everyone knows it's a waterfall. They hopefully can see it, or not, maybe, but you've written a good description. But talk about how it makes you feel, why you got into it, what you love about nature. Talk about the colors, talk about the process, talk about, your hopes and aspirations, talk about your values, your mission, your purpose. So there's so much to share, not just the literal artwork, but all the story and all the meaning that goes behind it.
Yeah. Because if you're not driving people to your websites, to your stores, whatever you've got, then it's like opening a door to a restaurant and nobody's coming in. Nobody's doing anything. You're not selling any meals, but you've got this beautiful restaurant. You can
you're not told anyone.
You can tweak it. You can, we tweak our website. We mess about. We're doing all sorts of little things that we feel is useful. But if we're actually not sharing and not driving people into that website, into that restaurant, then we're completely wasting our time doing everything else. It's so important to get that traffic. And also the traffic, numbers that you'll drive in. If you drive, say, 100 people into your website, percentages is that maybe 1% will buy. So if you're getting, 100, 200 people to your website every month, the most thing that you should be focusing in on is how to drive more people, because just not enough traffic to get you where you want to go. And that's the sharing to get people there.
100%. And I think also it's like, you want to share your artwork more, even if it's beyond the sales aspect, because I'm sure everyone's artwork means something important to them, right? And we have to remember that, even if the reason why you're sharing is to get the message of the thing that you are so passionate about, whatever that is, whatever the subject matter that you create artwork, it's the message that you've got to get out there, even if it's not very clear to you right now. Definitely go back to purpose, mission, and values, the last 3 podcasts, but share the message, and you'll find your correct tribe, and they will come to your site and hopefully support your journey so that you can share it with more people.
That's right, because that'll keep you going, that'll keep you doing it. So number 4, not valuing
your art, man.
Not valuing and giving constant discounts.
Oh yes.
The
dreaded race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was having this conversation with someone, and it's not just like what you're selling, or I think also where you sell is important when it comes to valuing your artwork. Now, as a platform, I do love Etsy to buy things, but as someone that wants to put their artwork out there, I think it's literally the worst site ever.
You hate Etsy, don't you?
I hate it. I think it's terrible for artists. It's terrible for artists' self-esteem, because what happens is people put their artwork up there, and then the first thing that Etsy does is it shows people a list of items that look almost the same that they can get for cheaper. And the problem is it's not just people making handcraft items. I know that that's how it's meant to be, but there are a lot of people that resell products that are like cheaply made in China or wherever it is, that are imported as handmade. They're not, so you're basically trying to have a race against Target artwork. And that's not what we're about. We're trying to make really unique, special, meaningful items that hopefully connect people to a really deep mission, whatever that is. And if your artwork's always being put aside at this, oh, look, you could get it here, but it's way cheaper. God, how awful is that? I just think it's terrible. And it does bring new people in to see you. But the reason, if they're coming in from somewhere else and they're not your audience, often the reason why they're buying it from you, if not, hopefully it's because it's better quality, but most often it's because it's just a little bit cheaper. And that is not a great way to value your art.
Yeah. And I suppose it's all this thing of, they're buying because they're buying from us and they're part of our tribe and want to be part of our community. Like those ones from China, I don't know if everybody knows, but they're like factories over there. So, I'll paint the hair, someone will paint the face, someone will paint the legs. So it's not even painted by one person, just a production line. So it's like, are you selling to people who want to that's just something on the wall from a production line. That's not what we're selling to people. No. And also this discount thing, like we have been so conditioned now to discounts. I am You know, I love a discount, I love a bargain. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? But
Right.
you know, this Target and Myers, DJs, everybody, they have the sales. They have, what do they have? A Christmas sale, a New Year's Eve sale, a Valentine's Day sale, a Mother's Day sale. So you
Easter
know,
sale.
if you want something, you can hang on for a month. If you know you got a big purchase, you hang on for a
Right.
while and you get it. So
Wait for Black Friday.
they've created this environment that we know, you know, that we really don't have to pay full price for these things. So it's like we have to be careful that we don't create that environment that our customers know that if they hang on, we'll have a sale, you know, January, February, March, we'll have a
Yeah,
sale at the time, and it just won't, it's not good for us. It's like, why would you do that?
I think also the challenge is that if people delay making a purchase, they often never make the purchase.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
you know, and that's just it, because you know, you say, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. Tomorrow
Very
never
true with
comes
art
because
sales probably as well.
everyone's very busy. And
Mm,
ultimately, you know, it just never really works out. Like, again, like you don't want to be on a race to the bottom as far as constant sales and discounts. But also, here's the thing, this is why I don't like it. Not
mm,
just that it sets a precedent that your artwork is overpriced and therefore that needs to be discounted, because that's absolutely not the case.
mm,
um but if I was to buy an artwork from you, let's say, Chris, and
mm,
I've invested, and I say investment because we're making pieces that aren't to be disposed. These
mm,
are forever pieces. They're pieces that we want people to pass down to their kids as heirlooms. We're not making disposable, throwaway pieces of art that will just gather dust or be, you know, like the last thing I want anyone to make is stuff that fills a landfill. We don't do that. We want to make meaningful pieces. So imagine I buy a piece from you and I've invested, let's say, $2,000-3,000 for a piece. And then next week you put it on sale.
oh yeah,
Now,
yeah,
the value of my piece, because like this is the idea, is that as you grow as an artist, people that want to invest in your early journey get a
mm,
piece that, you know, later on down the line, with hope, it, you know, increases in value. It's actually an investment. Like, how many people would love to have like an early sketch from Picasso or an early Rembrandt piece, or, you know, and those pieces might not be sold for a lot at the beginning, but they never go backwards as such. They're going forwards, as in, like, as you grow as an artist, they become more expensive. But how terrible would you feel as a client to buy something only to have next week the prices to crash, and then all of a sudden the pieces that you've invested in, and obviously people buy them because they love the mission and they want to support you as an artist, but also it's a bit unfair on them. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's creating a resale market and just crashing the price for yourself. I
mm,
really don't like that. And there's so much better things you can do. Add
mm,
value
mm,
rather than discount.
mm,
Always. You
yeah,
know, you can, like, I've heard amazing ideas. Like, you know, if you're doing a commission piece, take photos as you go and create a little printed book, like
mm,
a little, you know, you can make those little photo albums with a little write-up about all the different steps, so that they've got this coffee table piece to go along with their beautiful art piece.
yeah,
Or create certificates that go along with it, you
mm,
know, or do something special. Like, you know, we sometimes have like appreciation parties, or we have times where we work with the clients and we call them, and we just have those like extra sessions where we can chat and hang out and just
yeah,
have fun,
mm,
and all of those things. There's so many ways to increase. Like, you could, for instance, take one of the paintbrushes and have that framed as a little like coffee table piece, right, in a shadow box or something. Or you could, I've seen an artist who, she actually gets the palette paper and it's all these beautiful bright blobs of color, and
mm,
it's pressed and framed between two pieces of glass to go along with her original pieces, as if this is how it was made. You
yeah,
can do
mm,
millions of things to increase give value without having to slash your prices. And I mean, you can go as far as, I would say, comfortable, like allowing, like, for instance, adding value by adding an additional frame, saying, hey, I'm going to send you this piece and it's going to go to the framer. You just go to the framer and say what frame you want, and that's included in the piece. That's fine. You know, add value, never slash your prices.
Yeah. I love that idea of the frame, actually. That's a nice unexpected touch for somebody, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's such an incredible experience. Also, it's kind of nice when you're handing off a painting to a framer who will put those finishing touches. Because I do sometimes have clients that will spend a lot of money on commissions and then you don't realize they've got to frame it. So sometimes doing that stuff is nice, right, for people, and it's really welcomed, and it's a surprise to the point where people are like, wow, I feel so looked after. You know, do those things instead of because, like, I tell you what, no one's going to remember a 10% discount. No one is. They're not going to remember that, but they will remember that you went to those extra lengths to have the piece hand delivered if they're local, or have the piece framed, or give them this extra little coffee table book. They will remember that from now until eternity, but they won't, no one will ever, you know, the 10% won't even get people through the door. That's the truth.
That's the thing, isn't it? Especially with paintings, you know, if they're not going to buy at the price that you've given it to them, even 20%, I don't think is going to make any difference, because it's, you know, an emotional purchase. It's
right.
They're not buying it because of the pricing that's on it. So I don't think it matters.
And again, if people can't afford the original pieces, that's fine. Always offer prints or digital bundles or alternatives so that everyone at every price bracket can afford something. But the original piece itself is special. And I'm all of the opinion, and if something doesn't sell, that's okay also. And I know that sounds weird, but how amazing would it be to be 10 years down the line and have a piece of artwork from every single year that you've produced so that you can have your own retrospective show? I mean, it would be bloody awesome, right? So, because, hey, you know, if you know, if a famous artist, let's say Pollock, had a piece from his very early times that he never sold, and then he brought it out at the end, everyone will be, you know, head over heels and love to get involved. So it's important to think about things actually long term like that too.
Yeah, it's not going to make you feel good either, is it? You just start, I'll only sell them because slash the prices, and you know.
Have you ever sold a piece and then regretted it because you sold it for way too, you knew it was valued more and you felt so, or I because it's sometimes like parting with kids, you know.
It is really personal art and selling it. So you've got to, and that's the thing as well. I think we've talked about that in the past, haven't we? If you don't put prices on it that are of value, you never want to sell it. You don't push it. You don't put it out there. You don't tell people. You don't share, because you really don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
So we need to put that price tag on that, you know, we feel happy. If we sell it, then we're over the moon. It's gone to somebody who actually really, really wants it.
100%. Right. Well, number 5. What's number 5, Chris?
Non-stop selling.
Non-stop selling.
Who loves that? Who loves non-stop selling?
Right. And I mean, I know that earlier we said you have to post about your artwork and share it a lot.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing you should be doing, you know.
Yeah.
Right. And there is something really, like, so I love that Gary Vaynerchuk, he did a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And it's about giving and giving and giving and giving, you know, sharing and helping as many, you know, people as much as you can before you make the ask. And I think that we should be focusing on it as an act of service, whatever that is, right? That might be, you know, showing people the process and the behind the scenes. It might be, you know, sharing the wonders of the universe for me, or it might be for you, you're all about success, right? So
it's showing your purpose, isn't it? sharing
100%.
your purpose with your art and with your paintings. We've talked about this so much. So if
Yeah.
you're sharing your purpose, people are getting to know you. They're getting to know, they're getting to know you, and you're getting to find your tribe.
Yeah. And I think this goes along with something you said to me before we started recording, which is like, it's about trust and authenticity. And if you're doing nothing but selling, you never build that up.
No. And nobody likes it. Look at yourself again. When you see those adverts, even the adverts that come up and it's the same ones again, it's like, oh goodness, just flick, flick, flick. But if you've got somebody who's just there, you just get that vibe from them, don't you? That, all they want to do is flog you something.
The used car salesman.
There's nothing else. They just want to sell. It doesn't feel good. Even online, you can tell that that's it.
Right. See, and I can understand it's a dichotomy for some people, because it's like, oh, you've got to be able to share your artwork and make people aware that it is available for sale. But you don't want to be like pushy and nonstop and like, and share no other value with other people. It's got to be a balance. You need both parts. You can't just jab, 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 and you can't right hook. Well, actually, right hook non-stop either, right? It has to be a mix of both. It's okay to ask for sales, just, and it's okay to ask multiple times because people don't see everything. But if every single post is like that and you're giving nothing else, it's like, who's got a friend that calls them only when they need something? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unappealing, and you think, oh God, what do they want this time?
Yeah.
No one wants to feel like that, and especially not your clients.
Yeah. So just a nice balance of it all. Get a feel for what that is.
Yeah, 100%.
So
time for a quick recap. Number one, make sure you've got a storefront, make sure it's clear that items are for sale. Number two, transparency on your prices so people know what they're getting into or if it's right for them. Number three, talk about your artwork, share it, let people know. Number four, value your artwork, avoid constant discounts. There's so much better ways of doing it. And number five, avoid nonstop selling. Make sure you're giving value in amongst all of that. Chris, any extra tips, bonus tips you want to add in?
Just that trust thing that you said before, that is such a huge thing, because people don't trust you, then they don't like you, and then they're not going to buy from you. It doesn't matter what you do at all. If people don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. They're just because they're going to like you before they build trust for you. And this is why we do all these posts and all the talking, the videos and everything, so people will get to know you. They get a feel for you. And we all resonate towards different kinds of people, and that's our plan again. So this is the sharing builds the trust, builds the likability, builds the probability that they'll want to be part of your environment.
100%. And it's funny, I'm going to use that as my bonus tip too, because trust is the number one currency for online. And because everyone's always asking themselves, is this a scam? If I put money in, am I even going to get an artwork? Who is this? Are they nice? Are they trustworthy people? And I deal with a lot of artists who, and this isn't to say that you can't sell to people. Like, there's a lot of people that go viral and then sell a lot of stuff, right? But you'll find that audiences that have zero connection, they won't, they will only ever be able to make very, very tiny purchases. So they might only ever be able to spend, let's say, at max $70 on a piece, because they've never met you from Tom, Dick, or Harry. They don't know who you are. They don't know, they're not going to be able to sit and concentrate and be like, okay, I'm gonna save up and I'm gonna buy an original. It's never gonna happen. Not to that level. There'll be people that will be like, oh, I'll spend $50, it doesn't matter. So So that's the side effect when you are only ever focusing on selling to people that with no trust, is that you will never be able to ask your worth. And I think that's a terrible shame. Yeah.
Yeah. Big one.
Wow. That was awesome. Well, it turns out to be 6 things that kill your art sales. But yes, of course, if you've got any questions or comments, put them down below. All our socials are in the description. Follow us so you don't miss anything. Future episodes next week. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. We are going to be talking to Maggie McDonald about licensing your artwork, and she is amazing at it. Until then, keep creative.
See you next week.